Well, Mississippi State stuns number 12 Arizona State. Paul Finebaum says they're back. Bowl bound or what? Let's dive in.
You are Locked On Mississippi State, your daily podcast on the Mississippi State Bulldogs, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Well, thanks for making Locked On Mississippi State your first listen every single day, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day. This episode is brought to you by Monarch Money. Take control of your finances with Monarch Money. Use code LOCKEDONCollege at monarchmoney.com for 50% off your first year. My name is Jaron Spor. I'm a national college football writer at Athlon Sports. That's Landon McBride. He's back with us today after his morning of injury yesterday, but we got a lot to talk about. We have some more weekly awards that have been handed out after the big upset win. Also have a major recruiting update to get to at the end of the show. Certain high-profile player was on campus for the Arizona State game. We'll hear what he had to say. But first, we got to get into Paul Finebaum. He's, obviously the SEC.
Everybody's friend.
Everyone's friend, especially right now. SEC Network analyst, the voice of the SEC. He was asked about Mississippi State, and he said maybe the most underrated win in the country was what happened in Starkville, upsetting last year's CFP team, Arizona State. An amazing game in every stretch. Fans charged the field, and Mississippi State is back. 2 big wins so far. That's a bold statement. They're back, according to Finebaum.
We're back. I mean, it's a bold statement. It's hard to argue with it right now. In a couple weeks, it might be easier to make the counterpoint, but the team looked good. And I mean, he said it's the most underrated win in the country. I don't know who's underrating this win because you look at every ranking.
I think it's because it's not really nationally being talked about as much as it should.
Possibly. But I mean, you look at all those things where, going into that game, the places that ranked all 136 teams or whatever, Mississippi State was somewhere around that 70 to 80 mark.
Mm-hmm.
All of them now have them somewhere between 26 and 31.
Yeah.
So I don't really know who's underrating it. I guess because it's the Big 12 and weird things happen in the Big 12, and unless it's a Big 10 or SEC team, it doesn't count in some places.
I mean, most of the talks have been Florida getting upset, obviously, and then the only ranked matchup was OU Michigan, so that's getting talked about. Outside of that, it's just not getting talked about much.
Yeah, it isn't, but it should be. And I guess that's probably where that comes from, because this was a huge win. And yeah, I get the USF and the Florida game was just wild, but whole other conversation. And this one, I mean, it's hard to underrate something this big. I mean, this program was falling apart last year. I mean, you go 2-10, no one expects anything. And I mean, people commenting on this who are diehard Mississippi State fans are we're losing by double digits. I mean, this play, it was down bad, but I don't know. It does seem like if it's not back, this is the turning point to being back.
Yeah. I wish he would have expounded on it a little bit more because
that would have been nice.
Yeah. What does he mean by back? That's my question, because obviously 2-10 last year, year before that was 5-7, not good either. Year before that was 9-4. So are we back to 9-4, or the year before that was 7-6? Are you talking about back as in a bowl eligible team? What are we meaning by back? That would be kind of my question. But I will say I think this team is back closer to the 7-6 type of thing. I really do expect them now to make a bowl game after before the season going 5-7. But I think this is a team now. I feel even more confident we'll get at least one or at least 2 of SEC games instead of 1 originally is kind of what I was predicting. I think you even predicted 1 too. Ole Miss, I think, is what you predict at the end of the year.
And Arkansas.
Arkansas. Yeah, so you did have 2. Yeah, so I feel more confident about that now. I might even had 2 because I think we both originally, when we did our preseason ones, had them losing Arizona State, but then picking up 2 SEC games. But I think they still get those, and then on top of the Arizona State win. So I think they're back closer to bowl eligible, 7-6. And I will say, if they do that, Jeff Lebby's got to be in National College Football Coach of the Year talks, because that would be an incredible turnaround in year 2. He probably wouldn't get it just because people are going to look at it and say, "Oh, you went 6-6 or 7-5, and that's not a great season." But given what he was given last year, and the talent-wise, the roster that was left, then going 2-10 to completely flip that around with one of the toughest schedules in college football, he should definitely be in those conversations.
Oh, yeah, he should definitely be in them, should get some votes at least. And, yeah, it'll go to someone whose team was projected to win 8 games and they end up winning the conference or something like that. But coaches who complete a turnaround this quickly, because we talked about it all summer. 4 wins is a good year.
Yeah.
4 wins is a good year. 5 wins is a great year. And now we're here week 2, right after week 2 going, this team's probably going to make a bowl.
I mean, they should have 4 wins by September.
Yeah.
I mean, they should.
Now, I'll be shocked, but not like floored if they end up at 4-8. Like, it's going to suck.
Yeah.
But if a few things don't break their way, like in this Arizona State game, they're not saying that there were lucky breaks, but just how the game flows, how it happens. If a few things happen just slightly differently, very different outcome. And so there's probably going to be a couple games like that on the schedule. Right. And if a few of the things go the other way, then maybe this is, 4-8, 5-7 team. But I expect 6 wins by the end of the season, honestly.
Yeah, and I'm looking at their schedule right now, and there's several games I feel even more confident about than I did before. Northern Illinois I felt pretty confident about, but it was like, okay, they beat Notre Dame last year. I knew it was a whole new team. They start the year a 2-point win against Holy Cross, then they get beat 20-9 against Maryland. That should definitely be a win. Yeah. Tennessee looks a little more daunting. Now we'll see this week. I want to see them play Georgia, see what kind of team they are. That looks a little worse than we originally thought. A&M is A&M. I think they look about like what we thought. They're an all right team, and they could beat you. You also could beat them. Florida looks a lot worse than they did before the year.
And Texas, by then, they might be absolutely spiraling.
Yeah, and I did say, to my credit, this offseason, I said that they would be the most likely chance to be this year's Oklahoma in terms of a lot of expectations, but because of all the offseason injuries, they could kind of fall flat. And I think we're seeing that. Lagway looks like a guy that needed shoulder surgery this offseason and didn't get it.
Speaking of guys that look like they need shoulder surgery, Arch Manning.
Arch Manning. Yeah, so then Texas doesn't look as good as they did before, but still they look very good.
Yeah.
Arkansas, I'm still, jury's still down on. I think you had them beating Arkansas anyway.
Yeah, they haven't done anything to change my mind.
I don't think they're great. But... Yeah. Georgia, they're still Georgia. Missouri looks a little better than I thought they would, but I still don't think they look great. And then to your credit, you picked an Ole Miss win over Ole Miss before the year. I think Ole Miss looks worse than what we thought.
Ole Miss is rough right now. Yeah.
Yeah, and so there's some games.
Ole Miss looks rough.
Yeah, there's some games that going into the season you thought were going to be a little worse that now look a little easier. But then there's also some games that look a little worse than they did going in. But yeah, I think Jeff Lebby's got to be up there for Coach of the Year for sure if they end up getting 6 or 7 wins this season.
Yeah, and even if he doesn't win some kind of award, the job him and the rest of this coaching staff have done needs to be celebrated by every national media outlet, because taking a program that was the doormat of the SEC, I mean, and there was little hope given to this team going into the season. To turn it around and get a upset over a college football playoff team that was ranked, top 15, second week of the year, and have people talking about going to a bowl, that is massive.
Yeah, for sure. All right, the big upset did not just go over with some national people because they got a lot of awards. Mississippi State players did. We're going to break down all of those. That's coming up next. Well, Mazda crafts cars for those who do more than simply move. Mazda delivers confidence with every ride with more IIHS Top Safety Pick Plus awards than anyone else as of August 2025. You can feel Japanese craftsmanship in every detail, from the metallic accents to available Napa leather upholstery. You can make everyday drives feel like anything but, from smooth handling to intuitive controls. Like our players, we sweat every detail because when you make every move count, impossible becomes irrelevant. Mazda, move and be moved. And it's almost the weekend, so time to look back and crown this week's MVP on Who Delivered, powered by DoorDash. Just like you can win every Saturday with DoorDash streaks, saving more every time you order. These players delivered when it mattered most. So let's break it down. For Mississippi State, Blake Shapen delivered in a big way. Obviously, he had the game-winning play. They're at the 42-yard line. Their own 42 have to go 58 yards. He throws an absolute strike to Brenen Thompson, who also could have been given this award too. Just an incredible play and a clutch moment. Ended up taking the lead and ended up sealing the win. So Blake Shapen delivered in a massive way because when the pressure was on, he came through, no hesitation, no delay. And if you've been watching week after week, this performance really wasn't a fluke. He's had a strong start to the season. He's got to keep it up, obviously. And just like Shapen delivered for Mississippi State, DoorDash delivers your Saturdays with DoorDash streaks. You save every Saturday you order. Stack it up all season, and you could save up to $250, including $100 in DoorDash credits. Order this Saturday. Keep the streak alive. Fuel your game day only with DoorDash. Terms apply. Promo period through November 18th. Well, thanks for making Locked On Mississippi State your first listen every single day. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network. Your team every day. All right, so several Mississippi State players were named to different award lists. SEC named theirs, and also Pro Football Focus put out theirs. But for the SEC Players of the Week, Nic Mitchell was a co-defensive player of the week. And Albert Reese, I mentioned this on yesterday's podcast, so the everydayers would have heard that one. He was a co-offensive lineman of the week. And then Pro Football Focus, they put out their teams of the week. And first off, Brenen Thompson was the National Offensive Player of the Week after his monster performance. He finished the night with 6 catches for 133 yards and 2 touchdowns. Also, they put out their conference teams of the week. Brenen Thompson obviously made that. Albert Reese made that as well. Calvin Dinkins was named to the first team defense. So, and I believe Jeff Lebby was the SC coach of the week. So a lot of great things happened.
A lot of things, and I don't remember what it was. It was one of those graphics you see when you're just scrolling across social media. Somewhere, the crowd was named Crowd of the Week. I saw that on a couple places that also got popped up there.
And I want to say I saw Mississippi State being named Team of the Week, but I can't remember if that was right or not.
It was a big week. And so, yes, there are a lot of the national talking heads that are not recognizing what happened, but people who dove into like the different awards and these different analytical sites really, they saw something, and it's no shock. I mean, when you put up the numbers that Brenen Thompson had, not even including the fact that one was a massive game winner. I mean, just those numbers alone are insane.
Yeah.
Throw that in. Of course, he's going to get it. But it's good to see like Albert Reese. He's a guy that, and, we kind of missed it a little bit. We were talking about offensive line. We talked about him as like almost like the swing tackle.
Yeah. And he's been great.
He's been great. I kind of thought he ended up slotting in at guard, but no, looks like he's going to be holding down that right tackle spot. And he looks great so far.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he does. And just for the stats reference, Nic Mitchell led the team with 9 tackles. He was tied for the lead with Manning. And Calvin Dinkins had 6 tackles, 1 solo, 1 tackle for loss. Obviously, Brenen Thompson, 6 catches, 133 yards, 2 touchdowns. Anthony Evans could have been named to one of these with the 9 catches, 108 yards, and a touchdown. Heck, Blake Shapen probably should have been named to one of these teams with the way he played. But John Mateer had a big day also against Michigan, and he got the nod for, I think he was even SEC Offensive Player of the Week. Yeah, he was Offensive Player of the Week. So he had a big week as well. But yeah, I mean, it's cool to see that your hard work that you put in paid off because all these awards came through. You pulled off the upset. Also, shout out to the social media team at Mississippi State. I don't know if you've seen their 7-minute video that they put out recapping the win. It kind of showed before the game and then during the game and then some celebration after game. Great job by them. Love Blake Shapen. He just straight up said, I'm going to go win this thing. And that he did.
I love when a quarterback does that. It seems like you almost wonder if that happens on every drive, but they only show it when it actually comes through.
Yeah.
But no, I love that level of confidence. And that's something we kind of heard a little bit about in the offseason, that he was, really stepping up, being kind of like, no, we're going to do this. We're going to be this. And hey, so far he's delivering. Yeah. I mean, he looked great. That arm strength looked way better than it did in week 1. I don't know if it was just kind of getting another game under his belt, or
and it definitely looks better compared to last year. So maybe the shoulder injury fixed a lot of things. I don't know.
Who knows? He's looking good, so hopefully
Yeah.
he can keep it up. And the defense, again, bunch of guys. I mean, Dinkins coming through.
Yeah.
I mean, and he's
going to have to play really well with Whitson out the rest of the year.
Yeah, he's going to all of them are going to have to step up. I mean, I think if Whitson had played the full game, he's probably on there with Dinkins.
Yes, he was having a monster first half. And really the second half, when they started having success, that was when Whitson was out of the game. So
yeah, a lot of good on this team. And you could probably, I mean, I want to give it to Kelly Jones. I mean, you lock down a guy who's going to be a top 15, 20 pick in next year's draft like he did. I mean, it's kind of hard to say he shouldn't be on a team somewhere. Too.
Yeah, no, he played really well. Yeah, I mean, a lot of guys could have been up for honors, but yeah, it was cool to see Shapen have that confidence that we're going to go win this game. And then he delivered on it. And then also on the next drive, as soon as Level went back to pass, he goes, "Oh, that's intercepted." And it was intercepted, of course. So that was pretty cool to see just the confidence that he had in his abilities, especially because, and we talked about it on Monday, they had gone, 2 quarters without scoring? Yeah. It was 12 minutes left in the second quarter, I believe, when they scored their 17th point. And so they hadn't scored until that final offensive play. So they were in a lull, and to still have the confidence and still believe that, hey, we're going to go win this thing. That says a lot about him and his leadership, and then being able to execute on it shows how much he is as a player as well.
And shout out to Lebby for that play call. I've watched it another probably 100 times since the last time I was.
Still don't know the defense Arizona State's playing. Don't get it.
I still don't understand.
Thank you.
Someone mentioned someone fell. I watched 3 different angles. I can't find the person who fell.
Yeah.
I think someone bit on an under route, I think is what it was, but I don't know. That was a gutsy play call because everything else is very short.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of risk in something like that. And Shapen uncorked it.
And he had to hold it for a little bit to let that play develop. And so that's trusting that offensive line. So that was big as well to see. But yeah, I mean, definitely well-deserved from all the people involved. And, weekly honors are great. Let's take home some postseason honors. Yep, keep stacking them. The crazy thing is Isaac Smith still hasn't been nominated or gotten anything, but he had a great game, 8 tackles in the game. So I think it's just
kind of an average game for him.
I was about to say, I think it's kind of expected from him where people just kind of overlook how great he is. But no, he's been great so far. All right, we got a major recruiting update to get to next, so don't go anywhere.
The NFL season is here, and FanDuel is making sure you're ready for kickoff with a can't-miss offer. Right now, new customers can bet just $5, and if your bet wins, you'll get $300 in bonus bets to use across the app. And my favorite thing about FanDuel is the live betting. I've mentioned this before. I'm one of those guys that I'll see a line, and I kind of like it, but either the way that player played last week, something about the defense, maybe it's the play caller kind of worries me a little bit. But once the game gets going, you see the flow of the game and you can jump in and get that live bet. You have a little more information to feel a little bit more confident in what's going on. And it's quick, easy, and the best way to add a little more energy to Sundays. So are you ready to play? Download the FanDuel app now by visiting FanDuel.com to get started. That's FanDuel.com to place your first $5 bet. Most people can't name all their financial accounts or even what they're worth, whether it's a 401k, properties, or investments. And when you don't have the full picture, you can end up leaving money on the table. That's why there is Monarch Money. It's an all-in-one personal finance tool that brings your entire financial life together in one clean, easy-to-use interface on your laptop or phone. Monarch is built for people with busy lives. If you put off organizing your finances, Monarch is for you. Monarch does the heavy lifting for you. You can link all your accounts in minutes, see clear data visuals, get smart categorization of your spending, finally feel in control of your money without ever touching a spreadsheet. And one thing I noticed with Monarch once I started using it is just how much I spend on subscriptions. I'm sure I'm not alone now with how everything's a subscription: music, TV, every TV service, all the food delivery, all of those things. You don't realize how much you're spending until it's all laid out for you. And that helps you identify why you're not saving as much as you thought. You can find those places to cut back a little bit and save more. So don't let this financial opportunity slip through the cracks. Use code LOCKEDONCollege at monarchmoney.com in your browser for half off your first year. That's 50% off your first year at monarchmoney.com with code LOCKEDONCollege.
Well, thanks for making Locked On Mississippi State your first listen every single day, part of Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day. All right, with this win also comes some recruiting momentum. We talked about this as well before the season, that you need to start developing these wins, because while you can be in these battles, the only way to close these battles is to obviously start winning some games.
Mm-hmm.
Malachi Zeigler has been the big one. That's been the one that he's Mississippi State's top target at quarterback. They've been going after him for a while. We talked about it before the game, heading into the week, that he was going to be on campus. He was. Right now, it's a 97.7% chance he's going to SMU, according to Rivals predictor. So, but Mississippi State keeps getting him on campus, and he did an interview, and this is kind of the things he said. He said the atmosphere was electric, the noise in the stadium was deafening, the cowbells definitely played a part. Coach Lebby and the staff have done a great job of changing the culture at Mississippi State. Since he's been there, they have quietly prioritized recruiting good character guys who do good in the classroom and fit what they are trying to do on the field. Then as far as like Mississippi State specifically, he said they have been consistent with me. He said it can't hurt the Bulldogs that they're he said the coaching staff has shown a lot of love to me and my family. And then it probably doesn't hurt that SMU lost to Baylor. So that probably all helped out that week.
Yeah, it's big. And like we mentioned, you got to keep getting these guys on campus. As long as you keep getting them on campus, you're still in the hunt.
Yeah.
And we've talked about it a ton, and we've seen it with the wins this coaching staff has made in the recruiting battles. They're great at relationships. So you get the wins, and especially when players like him, he gets on there and he sees what Shapen did in that offense. And I mean, we don't know what Zeigler will be as a junior or whatever when he's on there, but gotta say, I would expect him to be more talented than Shapen at that, 3 years down the line. So he has to watch an offense like that and be like, man, if that's what they're doing with him, think about what I could do with this crowd behind me. Like, that's got to get him pumped up thinking about those things being in the building when it happens.
Yeah, it sounds like they hit a chord with the family too. His whole family joined him on the trip. His dad, Willie, said the all-around culture change that has taken place since Coach Lebby arrived has been super impressive to follow. The way the game was played and won showed a resilient mindset that has been instilled in the team. So the family's taking notice as well. The issue is, it's like he's in Louisiana, so yeah, by Mississippi, but it's also by Texas. So it's not there's not really an advantage of Mississippi State would have there, but he does come out a lot to the games. And again, if you can keep winning and keep showing that this thing is headed in the right direction, that's a way to land this guy. And seeing that they, there's the Kingston kid, the quarterback that they like and would probably have to shift to if Malachi Zeigler doesn't end up choosing them. But I just think right now they're not showing really any signs that they need to go outside of Zeigler, which tells you that they feel like they're in a good spot despite the 97% or whatever Rivals has.
Yeah, if this team keeps winning, and winning over the parents is also huge. Yeah, I mean, it comes down to the kid doing it, but if he is that tight with his family like he seems to be, where his parents want him to go is going to play a part.
Yeah.
And if you can keep winning, the only thing that would make him want to go to SMU could be the money, which SMU is one of those schools that could lay it all out on the table, and they could be too big of a number to turn down.
Yeah.
But if you have to make it to where that's his choice.
Yeah.
Where it comes down to that.
Yeah, I agree. And another commitment to kind of keep an eye on, it doesn't necessarily affect Mississippi State directly, but September 15th, Peyton Houston is committing. He's the high 4-star quarterback. He's the one that we've talked about before was Fong to USC. he's Oklahoma's top target. But if Oklahoma misses out, a lot of their recruiting experts have said that they're then going to push after Malachi Zeigler. Now, the positive is Peyton Houston was on campus for the OU Michigan game, and all predictions since then have gone towards Oklahoma instead of USC. So if the Sooners actually land Peyton Houston, then you can breathe a sigh of relief. You should be good. I mean, obviously, if Lincoln Riley throws his hat in the Zeigler race, that's an issue just because Riley and quarterbacks are, he always usually gets who he wants at quarterback and does a great job. So that would be something, but I haven't heard anything that's who they would target. I just know that's who Oklahoma would target if they lost out. That's September 15th. As for Zeigler, he has not set a date yet. Remember, he was originally said that he wanted to commit before the season.
And it still hasn't.
Yeah, still hasn't happened yet. And I said the longer you can delay it, the better, because that means you're winning and you're doing some things to make him think a little longer. So
exactly, got to keep making him think.
Yeah, for sure. All right, well, it's another big moment on Locked On. College football fans, Locked On and Fire TV present College Football Kickoff, your ultimate college football weekly preview. Drake Toll of Locked On Big 12 leads the conversation alongside two-time AP Coach of the Year Gary Patterson, former college star Jesse Holley, and Locked On's local experts. A college football preview only Locked On can do. Catch College Football Kickoff every Thursday throughout the season only on Fire TV. My name is Jaron. Check out my work over on Athlon Sports. I have that whole story about Mississippi State, so check it out. That's Landon. Follow us, Locked On Mississippi State, on YouTube, Instagram, TikTok, Twitter. We post daily videos Monday through Friday, so check those out. Also, I talked about this a little bit yesterday, Landon, but wanted to get your thoughts on it. We hit the 1,000 goal. So thank you guys so much for that.
Thank you so much. Keep telling your friends. Let's get more people in the conversation. We love interacting with y'all.
Yeah, come on. We got to catch up. I want to look at this real quick because we got to catch up to Locked On Ole Miss, right?
They got a little bit of a head start on us, but yeah, we can catch
up. But we got to show them. Maybe, let's see, they got about 15,000. So we got a long ways to go, but we need to show them what state.
Everybody tell 14 of your friends and we'll catch them in a week.
Yeah. We need to show that the state that Locked On is Mississippi State is the one that they need to be listening to. So help us out there. But until next time, Hail State.
Hail State.